Good afternoon and welcome to A-1 Vacuum and Sewing's next installment of why I like the Sebos that I like. We've had a lot of calls and have done a lot of business with people that found our how to best choose which vacuum video, but we've also had a lot of questions about those videos. So I will try to do my best to break down which vacuums I most prefer and why I don't sell some of the vacuums in the Sebo lineup. And it's not that I don't love them, but I feel like we can offer better value, and why I like the tools I like in Sebo. So with that in mind, let's get started. Our entry-level Sebo is the Dart. I'm missing a tool and I put together what I can, but generally with the Dart, you're getting a dusting brush, a crevice nozzle, a nice lightweight canister. It's a lift away product, one where you can snap the base off and basically this becomes a little 8 or 9 pound canister. You've got the modified version of the ET1 power nozzle. This one doesn't swivel. But you also have a great price point, less than $600. And so one of the questions I get from the folks that call, and keep in mind, I can save you a couple $100 on most of these vacuums if you give the shop a call, is why don't I sell the Felix? There's very simple reasons for that. The Felix has a suction control where there's an on-off switch. On the Dart, it's got a swivel at the base and it comes with a floor brush. It comes with the premium parquet nozzle. However, the parquet nozzle does not stand up. If I put the parquet nozzle on the floor and I put something on there, it's just gonna fall and hit the floor. So when I was selling the Dart, when people would trade them in, a lot of times they would come back and the floor brush wasn't even out of the packaging. It was completely unused. Plus it's factoring in my price, it's a couple $100 more expensive. And quite frankly, I just don't think that's a good investment. If you wanted a Felix, I can get you one. They come in some snazzy colors. And once again, I can save you some money. But in my store, you're gonna find the Dart and not the Felix. So I hope that addresses that question. On the automatic vacuum side, they make an automatic X4, they make an automatic X7, they make an automatic X8. What you're gonna find in my store is the automatic X7 Premium Pet. Why is that? The X7, the X8, basically the same vacuum, but the X8 takes it a couple inches wider. In my mind, you're taking the same amount of suction, you're spreading it out over a wider space, so it's less concentrated suction. You're gonna end up going over that space more often. Outside of that, the vacuums are more or less the same. Now, why do I only sell the Premium Pet? This is a heavier upright vacuum, although it's a fantastic performer, but I prefer the X7 Premium Pet because it comes with the 2 tools that are gonna make it most easy for my customers to do their stairs. And that is, it comes with that extra 9-foot hose extension with what I call 4 feet of hose attached to the vacuum. That 9+ feet of hose, you get about 13 feet, and it comes with the turbo brush. And so if you're doing stairs, it'll do a great job, and you can even lay the vacuum down to do that. And once again, I sell it at a price point that is much more similar to the X4. So you can save a couple $100. I just think it's a way better value. I'd rather sell you the better value. I always say I sell like I buy. So when I buy, what am I looking for? I'm looking for value. I'm not afraid to spend money, but I want what I'm spending to make sense. You're gonna find the X1. For those folks that are only looking for a hard surface vacuum, or I'm sorry, the E1, excuse me, suction only vacuum, great price point. Beyond that, for those of you that have all hard surfaces, but that also have area rugs, quite frankly, I just don't think the turbo vacuums do a good enough job. So you're not going to find an E2. You won't find the D1, although it's an interesting product. And for those rare customers that fit that category, I will actually drop ship a D1 for you just because it comes with the premium tools and it comes with the turbo brush, and the price point, especially in this store, is better. But the reality is most people, even if they have all hard surface, a solid percentage of their house still is soft. Area rugs, carpets, etc. And I just feel like you need a full-size vacuum and a full-powered vacuum to do that. You've got the D4 and the E3 in my store, and that's going to be 80 to 90% of what I sell. I'm saving you hundreds of dollars if you do business with us on those two vacuums. And the very simple reason for that is I sell the E3 for more like the price of the K3. So you're saving a couple $100, but you're getting a full powered, lightweight, I mean, I call it a mid-sized canister, but it's really a full-powered canister, directly competitive with the Miele C3. And then the D4, what else can you say? It's the best canister money can buy. But I also say that it is important that you have a tool that you will use. The best tool in your household is going to be the one that you're most likely to use. And in my household, there are two people of somewhat smaller stature, my wife and my daughter, that'll walk right past the D4. Fortunately, I also have an E3 in the house, and they'll use the E3. It's easier for them to manage. My son, who's built the same way I am, looks just like I do, size-wise, he's gonna grab the D4 every time. And really quickly, let's talk about tools. If you're buying from us and I'm shipping you product, it's always best for us to do everything all at once, because you pay one low fee for shipping, and that's it. I don't add based upon what else you're adding to your order. However, I am somebody, if you're shopping in my store, that's gonna tell you, go home, use the vacuum. Every vacuum comes, with the exception of the Dart, with a crevice tool, an upholstery nozzle, a dusting brush, and in the case of the canisters, a floor brush. There's a lot of influence out there from folks that talk about getting other tools. And if you're local to me, what I say is go use what you've got and figure out what you want. That way I'm not selling you a tool that you won't use. However, there are a lot of people that ask for this premium parquet nozzle. And I can't see what you're seeing, so I'm hoping this comes out in video, but you've got two soft horsehair brushes. It gets a little closer to the floor. It rolls really nicely. And most importantly, it swivels. What I would tell you is this is not my favorite tool. And the reason it's not my favorite tool is in my house where I've got two Aussies, they shed like a dog a day. It's not in the air like my prior Husky's hair, but it rolls around on the floor. So any floor brush with a front brush serves like a plow, and debris builds up there. And what ends up happening is you push that debris instead of sucking up in the vacuum. And every now and then you've got to pick it up off the floor, clean it, put it back down, and start again. If I can't find my favorite tool, I will use this tool. It's a fantastic tool, but you will have to clean that front brush. And I'm aware there's some folks out there that tell you just pop this little yellow thing out on the side and pull that front brush out. And in my mind, I go, why in the world would you buy a $60+ tool only to take it apart and not use it as the engineers wanted you to? So my favorite tool is actually going to be this one, and that is the Premium Combi tool. The Premium Combi tool does two things. It looks and it swivels very much like the Premium Parquet nozzle. However, it can be used on rugs and carpets where you can't have agitation. So Persian rugs, wool rugs, silk rugs, any rug that when you buy, they tell you not to use the brush roll, this is the best tool for the job. The suction's gonna be right over the carpet. The bidirectional lint remover is gonna help remove hair and debris that's woven into those fibers, and it does a fantastic job. When you put that brush down, when you switch it, you only have a rear brush. And so this rides a little closer to the floor than the parquet nozzle. And it also only has that rear brush. That rear brush, just like the premium parquet nozzle, it is replaceable. So this is a tool that you should have, maybe not for a whole lifetime, maybe not for 50 years, but you should have it for a real long time because we can maintain it and update it. We can pull these wheels off and untangle hair, stuff like that. But in my household, this is the preferred tool because it puts the suction closest to the floor. That rear brush is gonna break up the static adhesion of the dirt to the floor. And there's no brush in the front that serves as a plow. And the reality is, if anything is large enough to stay in front of that, that carpet nozzle, then it's large enough to be picked up before I vacuum, or I can just pick it up. Sometimes I'll even pick it up and just pull it across the floor like that to get large debris that might get pushed there. But you know, the profile of the suction area is very, very similar to that premium parquet nozzle. It's just, it's only got the rear brush and it's a little closer to the floor. So I find in my area where I have like DG, pea gravel, stuff like that, this does a better job picking up that debris. So that's gonna be my favorite tool. If you call us at the store to save a couple $100, that's gonna be the one if you are talking about a second tool that I recommend. The standard floor brush that comes with the vacuum, they're phenomenal as well. Sebo still maintains horsehair product where everybody else, even some of the premium brands like Miele, have gone to synthetic, meaning their stuff's all plastic. This is gonna wear better, it's easier on the floor. I mean, I've had ours, like both of our vacuums at this point are 7 or 8 years old, and I still have this tool, I'll still use it. You run into that same issue though, where that front brush can push debris. And in those scenarios, sometimes you find that you just have to pull the tool off to clean it. So I hope that gives some clarification as to what's in my shop, what you're gonna find in my shop, and why I like the tools I like and I like the vacuums I like. Once again, if you call the shop, I can save you upwards of several $100 buying these products, drop shipped straight to you or sent directly from my store. Just give us a shout at 775-852-2323. And if you like the video, why don't you give us a thumbs up too?